Hey, I'm Rashina from KB52B. Today I'm going to tell about the birth, marriage and death of South Koreans. Before I start, I would like to tell about Koreans. Basically, Koreans mainly live in the two Korean states, which is North Korea and South Korea. Koreans are considered the 15th largest ethnic group in the world. As of 2020, there were an estimated 7.5 million ethnic Koreans residing outside Korea. South Koreans refer to themselves as againn or Hanguk Saram, both of which mean people of the sub-Han state. Furthermore, North Koreans refer to themselves as Joseon-in or Joseon Saram, both of which literally means Joseon people. So without wasting time, let's hear about the birth, marriage and death of South Koreans. Let's go. Let's talk about labor and birth. Most of the women in Korea prepare their birth in hospital. Women get care from public health centers as well as hospitals. In Korea, fathers have not traditionally been present during delivery. In Korea, women are encouraged to minimize their movements. They also think that the mother's thoughts and mindset affect the child. So they have a daegu where they are careful and comfortable about everything, including food and behaviors. The mom-to-be was expected to only look at beautiful things such as flowers, animals, and do not look on dead things. In Western countries, women take a shower immediately after childbirth. A regular diet, start walking around, and go out in the cold weather. But in Korean, women are advised not to take a shower for a week or more. They are not allowed to put their hands in cold water. For the first 3 weeks after childbirth, getting out of the house is strictly forbidden unless you dare to sneak out and not get caught by your own mother. Last but not least, seaweed soup will show up on the table of every meal for months. After babies abruptly leave, pelvic bones take some time to shrink to its pre-pregnancy size and adapt to the new bony structure. That is why samchil-il, which means 3-7 days, the first 3 weeks after delivery are strongly emphasized in Korean postpartum. During this period, new mothers should not be involved in any vigorous activities and try not to strain their loosened joints. During those 3 weeks, visitors are prohibited and new mothers and newborns are not allowed to go out. This is to avoid contact with a possible source of infection as new mothers and newborns are immunologically vulnerable. This provides an excellent excuse for new mothers to culturally decline visitors, including family-in-laws who are eager to see the newborns. New mothers are exhausted from breastfeeding and sleepless nights. Moreover, they do not want people to see their bloated faces. New mothers must appreciate samchil-il, although they have to handle the desperate desire for fresh air. Korean women typically stay in a heated room after delivery. You cannot wear short sleeves. You cannot only drink warm water. Koreans firmly believe exposing your body to cold will result in sanhupong, which is unexplained joint pain and body ache after delivery. New mothers in Korea have a large bowl of seaweed soup 3 times a day. They say seaweed cleanses blood, detoxifies the body, helps the womb contract and increases breast milk. The no shower tradition was probably because of the absence of proper shower systems in the new mothers could have easily gotten a cold after a shower back then. So after the birth, a straw rope will be tied at the door frame of the house to announce the birth with chili peppers laced within for a boy, and for a girl it is used charcoal. Once people saw the announcement, they will stay away for a period of time, usually 21 to 100 days. The placenta will be kept and burned. The ashes will be saved to be used as a powder mixed in liquid for a healing potion whenever the child fell ill. For the newborns, babies will be bundled up in warm clothing even in summer to make sure they will not. The father-in-law will name the baby with the name carrying a wish for the child's life. Names usually had 2 syllables with all sons having the same syllables. with a pattern going back many generations, even tracing back to the family's founding. Next, I will talk about marriage in South Korea. Marriage in South Korea is currently restricted to unions between individuals of the opposite sex, as same-sex marriages remain unrecognized. Males over 18 and females over 16 years old may marry with their parents or guardian consent. Otherwise, South Korea's age of consent to marriage is 20 in Korean age, 19 in international. For traditional wedding ceremonies, there are firstly pre-ceremony. In traditional Korean culture, like many traditional cultures, marriage between a man and a woman were decided by the bride and not only the union between two individuals but two families. For these reasons, a significant amount of time was spent in preparation before finally performing the actual wedding ritual. The first step is called the yuho, or matchmaking. This is when both the bride and groom's families discuss the possibility of marriage. In general, the yuho is determined when the bridegroom side sends a proposal letter of marriage and the bride side sends a reply letter which permits this marriage. Once the response from the bride is sent back to the groom, if agreed, the groom then sets up a date for the ceremony. The second step is called Nalja Seojong, or date setting. The groom's year, month, day and hour according to the lunar calendar, which is known as Saju, is written on a paper and wrapped in bamboo branches and tied with red and blue thread. Lastly, the package is wrapped with a red and blue cloth and sent to the bride's family. The birth date of the groom is sent to a fortune teller, which sets the date based on the Saju. That date is then sent back to the groom. The last step in pre-ceremonial traditions is called the nakche, or exchanging valuables. Once the date is set, the groom then sends a box to the bride which is known as hem. In the hem, there is typically three items: the hyonseo, the chedan, and the honsu. Of the three, the most important is the honseo, or marriage papers. This is given to the bride in dedication to wed only one husband. The wife is expected to keep this paper forever. Upon that, the papers are buried with the wife as well. The official ceremony in front of the guest is followed by Biet, which is a ceremony among family members exclusively. The bride formally greets her new parents-in-law after the wedding ceremony. Additionally, the groom often gives a piggy back ride to his mother and then his bride, symbolizing his acceptance of his obligation to both his mother and his wife. During the Piakbe ceremony, the bride gives the parents of the groom, her new in-laws, Korean dates, jujubes, and chestnuts as a gift. The dates and chestnuts are symbolic of the couple's future children and the bride's goodwill to create a family with her new husband. Later in the ceremony, the bride's new in-laws toss the dates and chestnuts at the bride while she attempts to catch them in the skirt of her hanbok. The cord number signifies the number of children the couple will be blessed. Last but not least, I will talk about that date in Korea. Traditionally, the body will stay in the house for 3 days. However, in more recent times, it can on rare occasions extend to 5 or 7 days depending on the season of the year. The time of death is of great importance to traditional Koreans. So much so that a white piece of cotton is often put under the nose, someone who is thought to be near death, to ascertain the most accurate account of the time. The family of the dead will prepare 3 bowls each of rice, vegetables, soup, and send out 3 units of money and 3 pairs of shoes outside the entrance of the house to the messengers from the other world. It is believed that if all things are not settled correctly, the spirit of the deceased will fail to proceed to the afterlife, and a lost soul is thought to bring unfortunate happenings to the village. The wife of the eldest son will be responsible for the food and for the preparations for the main funeral service, and can enlist the assistance of relatives of the family who will come to help with arrangements and cook preparation of food for the many guests who will come to pay their respects and gain or maintain some standing with the family. Also, the corpse will be washed in incense water and dressed in grave clothes. Then, after plugging cotton in the ears and nose of the dead and testing coins over the eyes, the mouth will be filled with 3 spoonfuls of rice. Each spoonful is given with a statement that is to represent far more, wishing the deceased an afterlife of plenty. It is also believed that as the deceased individual is taken in a coffin from their house to the burial site, that the threshold of the door by which they leave the house represents the boundary between the world and the afterlife. In modern Korean funerals, no eulogies are held. Visitors both twice to the deceased and once to the mourner with words of condolence to show respect. Various delicacies and wine are served to the visitors. Instead of burial cremation, which has a shorter period of bodily decay, is more commonly practiced nowadays. I will end it here with 감사합니다 and 안녕.